All right, we are on and live. Good morning. This is Richie Cantardesi coming to you live from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, with another episode of SalesPreneur. And I've got a really exciting one today, and something that I spent a lot of time testing. And just to give a little reminder, I'm going to be trying to make these as long as I can until, of course, I have to. Until I have to be in the hospital. The reason I am home and able to make these and not on the road traveling and speaking is because I am on somewhat of a maternity leave, I guess that's what you call it. So I've got an interesting topic today because it's something that I battled with and I did some research on, and I wanted to wait some time to make this video and this episode, mainly because I wanted to test. I wanted to test and measure what I was doing wrong, what I wasn't doing, what was causing it, all that kind of stuff. So the topic of today is depression, and how depression, anxiety, and these sorts of things can crush your game in sales, in life, man. It can crush your game as an entrepreneur. There's so many different ways that it can hurt you. It looks like my video. Can you guys see me, by the way? Can you comment if you guys can? Okay, I guess I'm back on. That's easy. Okay, cool. Comment if you have any questions too. Comment if for some reason you can't see me. But my video went out. So a couple things that I want to state here when it comes to this topic is I am not a doctor. I'm not a social worker. I'm not like a psychologist. These are all just internal things that I've been through, that I've had when it comes to depression, and what I've experienced and how I've been able to try and overcome it. Okay, cool. Michelle Stevens, hello from NH. Okay, cool, good. Glad you guys can see me. Okay, so this, I don't know, I feel like everybody experienced depression. Good. Okay, video lines up, perfect. So I feel like everybody experiences somewhat of depression when you're in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, mainly because you're dealing with constant rejection and failure and hate from other people. You're dealing with haters. You're dealing with all of these negative things. And I think it causes anxiety, and there's no way around it. Shut this. You can hear dogs barking. Okay. So how do we, I want to talk a little bit about some of the experiments that I ran and what I noticed and how I've been able to kind of get through it. A lot of this comes in the very beginning, and anxiety, anger, a lot of these things or cause depression. So again, I'm not a doctor. This is just kind of what I experienced. And here's one thing that I did. I was watching the news for a period of time. On Facebook, on my phone, and I was following some political people, and I noticed when I was doing that, my mood was not positive, because or really the news in general, or even sports, when you're listening to people talk about anything controversial, and you feel one side of the table or the other, that creates anger inside of you, completely unnecessary anger that takes you away from your purpose, your goals, what you're trying to accomplish. And I noticed I was doing that. Even when I was okay, I've worked 10 straight hours and I wanted to take a little break or something like that, I would flip on Facebook and these videos would come up. And so I would start taking sides. I would be oh, I really agree with this person. And this other person would say, and I would literally get angry inside. And that was causing a lot of the depression that I was feeling. And then on top of that, you would see, you would be getting rejected in different areas and different things like that are normal, but it was totally amplifying the way that I was feeling. So I was I just wanted to go to sleep at night instead of get more things done or relax or hang out with the people around me. And I was noticing how much it was affecting how I felt first thing in the morning. Instead of being excited to like get things done, I was constantly like, I was just not in a good mood. So the first thing that I learned is if you're watching any type of political news, I would highly, highly suggest, first of all, not watching CNN, Fox News. It doesn't matter what side you're on, just stop watching the news. Like, these people, I know some of the policies may affect you and your life and the decisions that you make and how you run your taxes and all of these things. And I think that's really important. But you can get snippets of information without watching the news, without watching these talk shows that are so controversial, that create so much anger that it literally causes depression. And I'm not sure like what your definition of this is. It always changes. But literally, like it changes the way you feel. It changes the way you work. It changes the way you sleep. It changes the mood that you have around other people. It changes the mood you have around your team. It changes the mood around all these different things. And I was like, man, so this is what I did 2 weeks ago. And this is something that I've always kind of been like up and down with anxiety. And this is just being real, like full transparency. And so 2 weeks ago, I said, look, I'm going to unfollow everything political, even sports. Like I love sports talk. Like that's just something to ease my mind when I'm not working. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut it all off. Anything controversial. And literally, it took about a week of cutting it all off, but all of that negativity, all of that down feeling completely went away. And I was like, wow, like I felt better in the morning. And so if you're in a sales role, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're feeling depressed, the first thing that I would highly suggest doing is cutting off the news, cutting off any talk that's controversial. Most talks are controversial. Just cut it off and give yourself a little bit of time with it cut off and watch how you feel. Adding unnecessary anger to your day is just not necessary. It's so much easier to work hard when you're not feeling anger, right? Your role, if you're in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, your role is already causes a lot of anxiety. Like it's an anxious role. There's no way about it. It causes anxiety. And we can make a video on how to handle anxiety and how to deal with it, or how like I said, I'm not a doctor or social worker, but it causes anxiety, and anxiety causes depression. So, all right. So let's talk about this a little bit more, and then I wanna like hear from you what your experience is, and then I can share with you how I've taken some of these tests that I've done and been able to make them, and then the results that I've been able to get from them. So the political thing is key. Like we gotta cut that out. No more politics. And if you're listening to sports or anything controversial that's gonna make you feel one-sided or the other, is going to bring that anger out. So let's cut that out. Let me shut off this other. Okay, perfect. I think that was causing a little lag there. All right, so let me go through here and see if there's any questions or anything that you talked about here. All right, I feel that way. Fully agree with this. Yes. I need to find my happiness right now. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a second, the whole anxiety thing, because it's like it literally consumes your life. It like becomes who you are. So I think there's two types of anxiety. There's the good anxiety that we need, that like bring out that version of us that says, hey, like we need to generate revenue, or my life is on the line, and we need that anxiety to get us to like get into full gear, into fifth gear, and just freaking go like none other. And then there's the unnecessary anxiety that we bring on ourselves by not being prepared for things, by not doing the work ahead of time. And this is anxiety that we control, that we can fix, that we can, avoid, so to say. So I think anxiety can be a really, really good thing. But where anxiety goes wrong, where anxiety can screw us up and cause depression, is the unnecessary anxiety, the anxiety that we could have avoided by being more prepared, by doing the right things beforehand. Like if you're anxious about your day, that's because you didn't prepare for it the day before. And I did have a video where I talked about how to prepare, excuse me, the day before so that you are ready to rock and roll and you can complete your tasks, the most important, and etc. So focusing on that is really important. So the unnecessary anxiety is what we have to kick out of our lives. So if you cut off the news, sports talk, anything controversial, anything that'll make you feel one side or the other, and then cut out all the unnecessary anxiety. And that's straight up, that's 100% based on your, like, how bad you want it. Like if you want something super bad, then you will be prepared for the things of that role that matter most to you. And you'll avoid all of that unnecessary anxiety that's going to cause depression. And I'll tell you what depression does for me, and then comment below with what depression does to you, and let's talk through it. But what it does to me is it makes me want to avoid the people around me. It makes me want to be completely secluded from everybody. It makes me want to, instead of relax at the end of the night and maybe hang out with the people that matter most to me, I want to just go to bed. And I try to fill that void by working more, by doing things that, by avoiding the right people that I should be around. And this is like something that, it's bad, but it is what it is. So let's see if there's anybody that commented here. Has autism, not easy to balance life. Being a mom and a business owner is tough. Yeah, so that's that anxiety right there. So I'm a single mom of 3. My oldest son has autism, and it's not easy to balance life being a mom. That is like, I can imagine how difficult that is. I mean, that to me is like, that's life anxiety right there. You can't avoid having a son that has autism. You just can't avoid it. And so I think, Natasha, just to talk to your situation there, I think, that wouldn't be the kind of anxiety you avoid. But let's look at it this way, Natasha. Let's say you're a single mom. You've got 3 kids. One of your kids has autism. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of work. And you're right. You can't avoid it. But I think there may be some things that you can do with Reveal, with the products that you have. And I'm just trying to think of how, so the anxiety that you can avoid there is being more prepared when you can, and maybe finding solutions for your kids. Like do you have a way that you can have somebody watch them, or family members, or something that can alleviate some of that anxiety, some of that stress from you, so that you can focus on building your business and finding people to be on your team, and being able to find people that want your products and those things. Because there's I know you have 2 avenues, not just one or the other. So that might be one way that you can avoid some of that stress, which is causing anxiety, which again will cause depression. So what's up, Kathy? Okay, so you can't. So Natasha wrote, no, that's why it's so tough. Yeah, I mean, that's a really difficult thing. Like Natasha, what you're going through right now, and when you get through this, because I know you will, that's why you're on this video, is one thing to think about, and I said this yesterday, is these things don't happen to you. Like, it's very easy to get into a victim mentality with that. And everybody on this, or just in general, has their own stories, has their own issues, has their own challenges, their own adversity. But if you can just think that this isn't happening to me, but it's happening for me, you're going to think differently about it. Like, so what do I mean by that? So if you look at the challenge of having 3 3 boys, single mom, trying to run a business, trying to grow, trying to and become a victim of like, man, this is too hard, this is my circumstances. Or you can say, hey, you know what, this is happening for me. This is going to make me such a stronger person. And when I do grow my business, I'm going to have such an amazing story to tell, and I'm going to be able to inspire other people. And I'm going to inspire myself by being able to grow my business, being able to do what you're trying to accomplish with the adversity that you have. Natasha, you're going to be so much better of a person, so much stronger of a person by being able to get through that and overcome what it is that you're overcoming. So my hat's off to you for, first of all, being here. Second of all, having the courage and the will to move forward and begin to start your own business and begin to try to create the life that you want, even though you have the adversity and the challenges that you're facing right now. So my hat's off to you. Cut off the news, cut off anything controversial, cut off all negative people in your life, and allow the only failure, the only rejection, the only negativity to be in your business, and deal with that as best you can. And that's literally all you can do. Like, you have to ignore the haters, you have to ignore the negativity, you have to ignore the rejection, and focus on, hey, you're obviously doing this for your kids. You're doing this so you can live the life that you want, and just keep focused on that. Don't allow the news, negativity, anything controversial to get in your way that you can avoid. And so that's what I would suggest there. So let's see. Kathy, what's up? Miranda, you are, what's up? Kathy, Unica. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have today. I mean, this is a very sensitive topic, and I think it's like, it's one of those things where, I'm not a doctor, but this is just my transparent and being open and hopefully being able to relate to you as well, and the way that you're in what you're going through. So I hope this helps. Very simple action items to take away from this. No negativity. I love it. I love this, man. We got a good group going on here. I think everybody's super positive, no negativity. That's where I am now. I never expected to be where I am right now, and it's about the balance and setting up a good balance. I've been cutting people daily because good for you. Good for you. And awesome. I'm glad that it helps, Natasha. So cool. All right. So I don't see any other questions, I will see you all on Monday. The only time I won't be here is if I am in the hospital. But it seems to be that it might not be for another week or so. So you got it, Michelle. Really nice chatting, guys. Have a great Friday. This is an opportunity day because a lot of people take the day off. They're like, oh, it's Friday. But this is the day that, like, I go all out. And I talk to people. I do everything I can because I know everybody else is relaxing. So enjoy the day, but don't give up. Crush it. And I will see you all on Monday.